Welcome back, everybody. It's time for another Daily Nipah, Rika Furude Simulator 25. You can download it yourself up here on the socksmadepeoplesexy.ish.io. Tell us how your tragic fates are coming along. We're still pretty early here in Season 2. Season 2 is going to start a little differently. We had the Christmas special yesterday, and today, through the next few days, we're going to be listening to the Game of the Year podcast by, which is also hosted by one of the three people who made this. Going to the I'm sorry, going to the credits. Rhett is also one of the people in the podcast, and John would be the other one. We played John's game on here before as well, a couple of them actually, and we'll probably be playing more of them in the future as well. But those are the three heads of the podcast here. I'm probably going to lower the Daily Nipah volume a little bit here, just to make sure that we can hear the podcast when it comes on, which I'm going to turn on now.
Closing Steam.
Get that shit closed. You don't
Yeah.
Katsu right now, but that'd be a real weird episode.
Katsu?
What you doing, Rhett? Splosh, splosh, splosh. Yeah, that's the sound I'm going with.
What
Splosh.
the fuck?
That's probably the sound it makes.
That's a great start. Alright, Rika. You get a rock and roll start today. Oh, she's in her dress again. And she went shopping. Whee! Nipah, we still have some of those jelly beans as well. Nipah, 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 Nipah. Nipah, 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 Nipah. Nipah, 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 Nipah. That's pretty awesome. Oh, hey. Oh, no. Almost.
Well, hello once again.
Hello.
Despite everything, we're all somehow still here. That's right.
the truth.
We're all you got in this dark, cold, lonely, and dying world. We got just video games and talking heads who are going to do their part to make the world a better place.
Coming out positive here, Polly.
Talking about video games.
That's
Absolutely.
Polly.
That's right, everybody. It is once again time. You know what it is. We know what it is. We are going to be living it for the next 8 hours. You're going to get a break in the middle. And though a lot of us, understandably, as one Napstabluke Undertale may have put it, maybe really not feeling up to it right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because it's our duty. It's what the people
Damn right,
want
Polly.
and need from us.
It's true.
That's right. We're doing the best thing we can right now and presenting you the Sockscast Game of the Year Spectacular for the year of our Lord and Savior Haruhi Suzumiya 2024. How are y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Feel good.
Great.
Got video games.
We're going to
to
talk
talk about.
about video games and make the world go away for a few hours.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Everybody's ready.
Nipah.
Everybody's just like, can we just skip this opening shit? We got 8 hours.
The cold opening was fantastic, by the way.
Joining me as always, we have the two greatest co-hosts on the face of the planet. To my immediate virtual right, he's been told that his tongue
Virtual
is
right.
very big. It's Rhett.
True story.
It is a true story. I literally nicked that from a Discord conversation. You said that earlier in the year. I literally made a mental note. Yeah, that's gonna be one of your intros.
Oh,
Beautiful.
that's fucking funny.
And to my immediate virtual left, binging on the delicious candy that is your soul, it's John Thayer.
Hi.
How you doing, John?
Straight.
I got a cup of tea.
Right
I
as
got
John
my-
comes up.
I cleaned off the standing desk and I'm standing.
Oh, look at you!
He's
So
standing.
I'm gonna not feel like really stiff at the end of
No.
this.
Well,
It's
I mean,
gonna be
unless
really-
we get into Koikatsu talk, and then everybody's gonna be real stiff.
Everybody's gonna get real stiff. Yeah.
That's a great place to fucking pause it. Well, we got a jelly bean here. Let's see what kind we get. This is Bean Boozled, by the way. from yesterday, in case you didn't catch it in today's Daily Nipah, there are 2 kinds of each jelly bean. The blue one can either be berry blue or toothpaste. The red one can be pomegranate or old bandage, so on and so forth. Let's see what we get. This one is, it's the darkest one. It's either licorice or burnt rubber. So, here we go. I love burnt rubber. Oh my god. I think I'm placing this. It tastes like when you're trying to light the oven. Oh. And that gas smell comes out. It's like they put it in a jelly bean. It's not good. Oh god. Ugh. Oh, I'm gonna let them take it away.
Who's ready for Game of the Year?
I am.
I am.
I said
I'm
it first,
excited.
John.
We got everybody's lists. I've got.
We have everybody's list.
We have every person on the face of the planet's list.
How many? Brett, what's the count? How many lists do we get this year?
It's
kind of lost
34.
count. Like
It's 34.
Oh god.
We had
Oh.
30 last night. It's
Oh
34.
my God.
We
Whoa.
How does that compare with last year?
We
Oh
have
my God.
4 that came in after the fact, and
Whoa.
because we're just so nice, we're going to include them anyway, even though y'all get on the ball next time. Seriously.
Get your fucking entries in, everybody.
We're literally sitting here putting this show together 45 minutes before we press record
Uh-huh.
because of you people.
Because of
for
you
our
people.
first-timers who
Oh,
don't know,
triple
every
double.
year we get together as a community and we celebrate the best in games that the last 365 days had to offer, but we had an extra day of gaming this
I'm gonna
year.
let her explain
This
this.
is a leap year, so that's where those extra lists came from, is that leap year. People got so much
Oh,
more
God.
gaming done.
Fucking rubber, man.
And so how it goes is today, myself, Rhett, and John, we will be counting down our personal picks listed from 10 through 6, and we will be digging through this Mount Fuji-sized pile of listener lists that we have. And the only rule that we have really is just, hey, if you played it this year, it's fair game, and it can be on your list. Bosconians winning again. Sorry to spoil it.
Shout outs to
folks.
Bosconian.
again.
Again, Rhett. Again. It's like the Garfield Christmas special. It's all reliable. It's always going to be there for you. Frosty the Snowman.
I
Rudolph
love the
Red-Nosed
Garfield
Reindeer,
Christmas
Bosconian.
special.
This is exactly how I feel about Busconian.
John has been playing a lot of Namco games. It's not unlikely.
It's not unlikely.
Alright, pause there for another jelly bean. Oh god. Alright. What are we getting this time? Please don't be burnt rubber. This is either toasted marshmallow or stink bug. I know I got stink bug last time. Hopefully, this is marshmallow. Ah, it is. Okay, this one's tasty. We're okay. Moving on.
It
When
could
it
happen.
actually comes up.
It actually's got me all jittery inside. My oh.
Is this the year?
Is this finally the year? Bosconian is always number 1 in my heart. So, all right.
Polly?
Yeah?
It's just really fucking good.
It is. It's lit. Like, how is...
It's just so good.
I don't understand how that game doesn't get more love. I
Oh my
literally
God.
just don't. It's such a fun loop.
Hey, if you wanna lose your fucking mind, go look at the go to the Namco Museum Wikipedia pages and look at the receptions for different games.
It's kind of
Just
crazy.
Listen to fucking Jeff Gershman talk
Oh.
about shit talk every other fucking game that's not Pac-Man
Yeah.
and Dig Dug.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
I love Jeff, but his opinions are
Trash.
strong and controversial.
Yeah. 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 I think the only like somewhat obscure game I've ever heard him show love for is like
Ooh.
Speed Rumbler.
Tommy Glide of GamePro labeled Toy Pop as the weakest title, calling it a throwaway game.
Oh, get
you're
outta
you're
here.
Oh my
a
God.
throwaway writer, Tommy.
Yes, absolutely, Tommy.
Screw you, Tommy. We got another jelly bean to eat here. I don't like that kind of pretentious ass journalism anyway. This is either top banana or wet dog. Well, let's find out. That's top banana, which I also hate, by the way. But better than wet dog.
Get
Throwaway person.
get completely fucked. But
Yeah.
we're not here for absolute ass trash gaming opinions. We're here for only the cream of the crop,
Mm-hmm.
and it's rising to the top, baby. And
Oh,
what
look
you
at
say,
that.
We get things started.
Well done,
with
Polly.
an absolute banger of a list. We are getting things started with our very own community members, and of course, starting things off, I think, as she usually does,
Rika.
Yeah.
will be our good pal Garden. So, well, it's gonna be an audio list this time around. So, you
Ooh.
know how Garden's list, you know how that always goes.
They're sweet and short, right to the
Short,
point. I usually
sweet,
read
and
them.
to the point. But Garden has chosen this year to bless us with an audio list, and we know how these go. These are always,
Nice. Ooh, another triple double.
nice and nuanced and ready to go. So what do you say we all get ready and let Garden regale us with the tales of the wonderful games that she's played
Yeah,
in 3, 2, 1,
good to me.
play.
All right, we're gonna wait for that for this jelly bean. Let Garden tell her how she thinks of her list in a second. But we get a. It's another burnt rubber or licorice, man. It's fucking lose all day, I guess. Oh man, this might be worse. Honestly, I really hate licorice.
Fallout New Vegas, Cyberpunk 2077, Metal Gear Solid.
Fantastic.
You know,
Just-
the audio file there is 7 seconds long, but it's really like 2 seconds of silence at the end.
I'm really excited for my Fallout era. at
That
some
was
point.
amazing.
I played a big chunk of Fallout 1 and a big chunk of New Vegas, and they were
Oh
fucking
god, this is
excellent.
awful. Look.
And I didn't finish either one of them because I wasn't ready yet. I
Not
wasn't
ready.
like,
The CRPG has not fully gotten itself into your blood yet.
yeah, I hadn't cleared a single.
I do
CRPG
love
at
New
that point.
Vegas.
Now I've cleared a bunch of them, so I feel like
I
can
love New
actually get
Vegas.
through.
It's probably there for you now.
And
Next
Fallout
year,
3,
we're
really.
Fallout. It's happening,
Year
folks.
Not as much as the
Here we
first
go.
two, though.
Watch the TV show, get into the
Fallout 1,
the
Fallout
game.
2, Fallout New Vegas, play all of them.
And like maybe literally watch the world melt down outside your window.
Oh yeah,
Those
hey,
games are a documentary now.
nuclear war documentary.
All right,
Oh
so
god.
thank you as always, Garden. That was a fantastic bit. I love that she absolutely did the same thing
In
just-
audio form.
Just in audio form. That may be the best gag anybody's ever done.
Good. All right.
All right, we have another listener list. We have to start with the listener list because there's so damn many.
There's so many.
All right, Rhett, I do believe you have a listener list.
Yes, I've got a list from Iffy.
Official
Iffy.
The wifey is here to list the wifeys and 3 games.
More competition this year, though.
So I'll just get right to it.
Get it.
Number 3, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Fun little action RPG set in a world I've always been curious about. I got really invested in making overpowered character builds, but the lack of continued updates cut back my interest after a while.
Aw.
Still, I had a blast with it, and I was surprised how good the story was. Number 2, Ease 10 Nordics. This game takes a while
Ooh.
to remember that it's an Ease game, but when it finally gets there, it goes hard. Great plot, pretty good cast of characters, fun dungeon mechanics, banger music, and I didn't hate the ship combat after all.
Oh,
I know, saying you don't hate this part is a little... Karja makes a fantastic foil for Adol as well. It all wraps up with maybe my favorite Ease final boss battle, and an even crazy lore drop at the very end that longtime fans like myself will love.
oh, you can't hook me like that. You
That's-
can't. That's
I
unfair.
have
That's
played
a
this,
good
the
one.
Final boss is freaking crazy.
Oh, that's unfair. Now I have to play.
That's
Now I gotta make it a priority.
What's y'all's favorite Ease final boss?
God, there's.
I mean,
man,
everything about 8 is my favorite, pretty
like,
much.
8 is still like 8's is still amazing to me.
8 is my favorite story. I think 7 still has my favorite final boss.
I still love original Dark Fact because it's stupid.
Dark Fact,
Stop
Dark
looking
Fact is Steam. Dark Fact is.
Yeah, Steam Dark
Over there.
Fact is
I've played a
just
few East
absolutely
games.
Stupid.
I enjoyed
Sevens.
the ones I
tech-
played.
the
I'm
thing
gonna
with the
play
big
Oath at some
hook in
point.
seven made me
Yeah,
really
the
happy.
Probably on
hook is
stream.
where you fight all three.
Mhm,
Yeah, that's
mhm.
awesome.
Cool. All right, was it? Wait, was
Okay.
Grand Blue Fantasy and oh, you're still in that?
So now we're on to if he's number one. Number one, The Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie.
What? What?
Now, Polly understands this is last year's game.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
This is not Daybreak, the one from this year.
What happened?
If he got to it a little late, apparently.
Okay.
I think she finished it in March.
Oh
I
shit.
think this will come as a bit of a surprise, but this was the Sky Third of Crossbell and Erebonia arcs that I had such a good time with it. The plot may be the weakest part of this game, but I still enjoyed it a lot, and it was fun to experience it with such a huge cast of beloved characters. Some strong life
Right
lessons
on,
too.
Rika.
The dungeon crawler aspect was my favorite part, though, and that's what pushed this to number one. I was in heaven-
Nice.
God, yes, at the dungeon crawler bit.
Yeah, that part's rules. I was
Good.
in heaven making crazy
Ooh,
character builds, and it was
triple-double.
so satisfying having a true final boss that tested my team's limits to the
Triple-double.
fullest.
I think it's the only time the Cold Steel games have been hard.
Damn.
I had the. I mean,
Polly
that
talking
game's
some
weird
shit.
because it has its own extra difficulty that's
Yeah.
insane, the Abyss mode. Yeah, we both put I think I put it to Lunatic by the end, or Nightmare
Lunatic?
mode. I'm thinking Toho.
In
And
the
if you did
grass.
plus 50 enemy levels, so we really both pushed it as hard as we could.
Yeah,
The true final boss is crazy.
That's awesome. All right, we got another jelly bean here. It is pink with red. I want to say it's strawberry banana smoothie or dead fish. I don't think I got dead fish yet, so curious. That's oh. Oh no. Actually. Oh, no. Nope. It's getting better. Now it's not. Nope.
Okay, there's one
Nope.
more part of this list. It's Wifeys
Oh.
of the Year, which we're really here for.
Ah,
Number 3, Zeta from Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Number 2, Karja Balta from East 10 Nordics.
Yeah.
nice, nice.
And this one, I saw coming.
Oh, God, it's so
Number 1,
nasty.
Firefly from Honkai
Yeah.
Star Rail.
Easy win. Star
I
Rail
think-
takes another.
Blech.
Yeah, last year I think
Silver
believe it
Wolf.
was Silver Wolf.
This is so gross.
Oh, she's cute.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know this one.
Oh my god.
All right,
How
well,
could
those
you not?
those
How
are-
could you not?
I don't write down everyone that comes through, but I write when I'm like, this is gonna show up again. I put them down.
Oh man, that's so gross.
So I
Oh
can
my
keep a
god.
running tally, the ones that get a lot of picks.
Fucking wet dog.
All right.
Or
Well, I guess I might as well tear the bandage off and get things started for us.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Here we go.
yeah.
Not even a lot of pageantry here because we've got so much left, so much
Got a
show
lot
to do.
We got a lot to do.
Yeah, we're not going to be luxuriating over every list by the end.
No.
My number 10. I didn't fall in love with this one as much as everyone else did, but I also really like it a lot.
Okay.
My number 10 is UFO 50.
Nice.
Which is what I feel is
Nice.
probably the first of a number of mentions.
Yeah,
that
I'm
this
like, damn, this came out quick.
Like this one just out the gate. Like I like this game a lot. Like I know that there are a ton of people in our community that have already sunk
Oh my
so
God.
many hours into this game.
Yeah.
To spoil
Yeah.
things, we have a community member that 50 cherried this fucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
And it's
when,
still
when the
has
game
run
came
things.
out, the developer said no one on the team has actually beaten all 50. Not just beaten all
Just
50.
beating that
Fuck
gold
yes.
cartridge.
It's insane.
Oh
So-
shit.
It's
That was a
so
triple
awesome.
double.
This
Sorry.
game is so fun. This is a collection of 50 whole ass video games. This is not a mini.
I
games
love
collection.
UFO
Stop
50,
letting
holy
people
shit.
Describe it that way. These are whole goddamn
She's
video
right.
games for you
She's
to
right.
sink your teeth into, and this is a game that I know that I'm just going to be coming back to for the
Years.
next couple of years or so
Mhm.
because it's one that I just enjoy chipping away at. I find a game that I like and I like to just luxuriate in it. Like Barbuda. I started with Barbuda because I think that you have to. You have to start with Barbuda and just luxuriate.
John absolutely did not, but go on.
Everybody kept talking about how great Barbuda was, and I said, and then when I bought it, I said, I'm going to play every game except Barbuda, and I didn't play it for a month.
That's pretty funny. All right, we got another. I think this is a straight up strawberry banana or dead fish again. Yeah, it's the same color. Rico, why the fuck do you hate me? This shit tastes so fucking nasty. Oh my god. Dead fish twice in a row. Fucking old bandage twice in a row. Give me more of this talk.
And then
Oh god.
Barbuda's awesome. Magic Garden. I got so into Magic Garden.
Magic Garden feels so good. That was the one where I was like, "This is it.
This is
this is the real deal."
It feels so good when you find when you know the tech, when you figure it out.
Oh my god.
When you see into the matrix of how to really drive that combo counter up. It's like saving them
She's
potions,
right. She's right.
Spawn more.
It's so fun.
But yeah,
Magic Garden's amazing.
Tech was a great time. Mortal, Belgrass, Overbold, and Campanella.
Overbold.
Overbold is so
success
good.
approved. Overbold success approved.
Yeah,
Fistel Game of the Year.
Is Soxcast approved as well?
Fucking lie to me,
I haven't
Bob.
played that one yet.
Oh, you haven't played Belgrass?
Wait, which one?
Upwell.
Belgrass.
Oh, Upwell. Upwell's really good.
That's the true name.
Yeah.
It is
I
good.
don't
Oh
think
man.
that the download guy worked on it, but I don't think that was his game, which is extra funny.
That's really funny, yeah. And Campanella, that's just a really fun. I love games like that feel like that. So
Berry Blue or Toothpaste.
Kind of made
Campanella's
for me,
awesome.
yeah, great. Absolute great little collection of games. For $25, even at just buying this one full price,
Toothpaste.
you should not feel in any need to hold out for a sale for this, unless money's obviously
Gonna make me
an
feel
option.
minty.
But if you're just kind of holding out because I just want the sale, dog, or you think it's a value thing? No, dog, it's not that at all. These are full video games, and
It's worth it at full
crazy
price.
that I live in a world where I could spend $25, or actually, somebody could send it to me for my birthday. Actually, thank you very much. And that just be a thing that I'm going to be picking away at for years. It just feels good. I like that feeling. I like
the treasure trove.
Yeah, UFO 50 is just this comfy little thing that I like looking at on my list and going, I just I want this on my Switch, honestly.
Yes.
Honest,
How
really
is it
want this
not
my
on the Switch? That's the most
This game made me think about a
ideal
Steam Deck.
thing.
I will absolutely double dip on this game, even though again I didn't pay for it the first time. So no, I take that back. I bought it for someone else, so I would
there you go.
technically be double dipping. I paid that gift forward. I did buy it for someone else. So. All right, but yeah, UFO 50 is my number 10. I have to imagine that this is a game we're probably going to be hearing.
You're going to be hearing more. Yeah.
Not to spoil anything, but if you've been in our Discord for any amount of time over the last 3 months.
Which I renamed to Game Channel 50
Game
because
Channel
of how
50.
often.
So yeah,
Awesome. Good pick.
UFO 50 to start things out.
That's a
We'll
good
start with
one.
Barn Burner. John, do you have a listener list?
I have a listener list from Freezing Inferno.
Let's
You get a first
go!
long one.
Oh, Fresno.
Hello once again, Soxcast. It's that time of year, so let us get right down to it and give you 3 cool computer video games I played this year. I'm already got a bouncy.
I was about to
reader
say,
voice.
that's
are
you
very
trying?
Frizz-flavored reader voice.
I was about to say, are you trying to do a Freezing Inferno?
Yeah,
voice
it
right
seems
now?
like they were.
Number 3, Chorus Gaiden,
Double,
Priestess of the Forgotten Hero. No shade
Chorus
to our
Gaiden.
dear Chorus's creator, Jetstorm 4, as his Chorus games this year were spectacular as always, and just what I need to relieve stress and anxiety. At the specific moments that they came out. But this Chorus spin-off from the Twin Blade General was quite the debut, using the power of twine to incredible use in order to craft a compelling adult fantasy adventure story. The usual predicament/bad end motivator of the Chorus games is amped up a notch with the power of prose, giving the proceedings a different flavor of edge. It's wonderful to see an OC such as chorus, become a poly-authored thing. P-O-L-Y, authored.
Yeah.
And then
All right, we got another jelly bean to get here. All right, this one is juicy pear or booger. Please, for the love of God, give me juicy pear. Couldn't tell for a
having
second.
New voice playing
Juicy
in the
pear.
field of risque things happening to a cute blonde elf girl really impressed me. Truly, 2024 was the year of the elf.
The year of wanting to fuck an elf unprotected.
That was so wild. That just like out of nowhere, some like hidden community member made a whole big chorus game. I didn't know until that. Number 2, Final Fantasy II. God help me, the modern remakes and remasters of this game played with kid gloves.
Oh, Polly.
And I needed the overwhelming oppressive
That's
aura
every
of
year.
Colossus' true vision to really enjoy this game. It's nice that the remakes cut out all the extra bullshit, but my finely tuned hard game beater senses needed that constant pressure on me to
Holy
gel
shit.
with this one. It absolutely is not for everyone. But for me, something about overcoming this game's nonsense and just barely surviving its successive series of monstrous mazes did something to my brain that I can't
Yeah,
explain.
other four
A
house.
consensual masochism tango in which I enjoyed every blistering step. I got what I wanted out of this, and damn me for it, I guess, but on the list it goes as an unforgettable experience this year. I believe in FF2 now. I watched like 10 different friends over the last couple years play through it and just have a great fucking time.
I've seen that consistently.
It's not a
pop up over
bad
the last
game.
few years.
It's just
Oh my god, it's
its
nuts.
model
And
is not
it's
great.
the Famicom version. Like if you play the kind of
Peach or
chilled
barf?
out versions.
Peach or
Yeah, you
barf?
play the baby versions, then you have a billion
Peach.
long, boring mazes that all feel the same.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be kind of taxing to really land.
Do they make Ultima work?
Do they make Ultima work? No. Wait, really? I think they do. I think they make Ultima better in some of the remakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 1, Fields of Mystria. This was a delight for the last third of the year on my Twitch streams. It's one of those farming simulator games, a la Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon. It is in
Ooh.
early access, so a lot of it has yet to be implemented.
Ooh,
What
okay.
is there was a relaxing time to have on my Monday night shows, just farming and interacting with the denizens of the local town. They all have great personalities, Juniper best girl, and the general aesthetic of the game is
I like
warm and
those
cozy
style of
with
games.
lots of pastels and shoujo style inspirations. Nice. It was an absolute joy to unwind with once a week on the stream with my pals, and for that relaxing nature, it gets top billing this year. Here's to 2025, y'all.
Nice.
Let's go.
Fields of Mystery. I don't play farming games, but that
Yeah.
aesthetic. Oh, that's
It's got
so
an
pretty.
aesthetic. It's got an aesthetic. Yeah.
Strawberry
Oh, I
banana or
love
dead
that
fish
look.
again.
I watched
It's
Fresno
like-
play a good bit of this on stream, and it was really, really solid.
Ow.
looking. Like, it's not my
It's-
kind of thing,
What?
but I can look at that and go, oh, I know why.
How is
the-
there 3
I
dead
know
fish?
Why people like that.
It's got those like solid chunky
Uh,
blocks of colors
Yeah.
that kind of like Skidmore games or Link to the Past.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
very Skidmore-ish. Yeah.
But then with really, really pretty character art that does have a shoujo look. This looks gorgeous.
Oh my god.
Thanks
Yeah,
for bringing-
Fields
thanks
of
for bringing three cool
Mystria.
games to our attention, friends.
Absolutely.
All right.
God damn it,
Well
Polly.
then,
Oh
let's-
my god, this is
Rhett,
so
what's
gross.
your number 10?
Number
Oh,
10,
okay.
let's go.
I know now we're rushing, huh? Okay, so last year I think I griped about it towards the end of the honorable.
Oh yeah, that
mentions.
looks very
the
much
game
like
Tevi.
Stardew Valley.
And I made a promise to John that I'll find 10 games
Oh,
better than Tevi to keep
oh,
it
you
off the
didn't
list
do
this
it!
year. I'm here to tell you that I didn't do it. I found 12 games better than Tevi. So I have a list of
What's
12
up, Polly?
games. I'll read the last 2 in the honorable mention section.
right.
The cuts were brutal this year.
Oh god, dead fish,
Because
dude.
I feel like I played
Loved it.
games more this year than like, the last couple of years.
I did,
So I just
but
had
I
these 12
probably
games
played
and,
less
I had
games
6 games for the last 4 spots.
overall this year than I have in many years past.
I kept trying out different variations of the list and going, no, this one doesn't feel good to cut. This one doesn't feel good to cut. And I'm finally settling on the 2 that felt the least bad to cut.
If we lived
Oh,
in an
triple-double.
Uchikoshi game, you could just have it all. You could just travel to every timeline.
Uchikochi?
Yep. The
Uchikochi?
timeline where this made the list. The timeline where this made the
Yeah,
list.
you could just have the whole thing.
So the bottom 4 games on my list all at one point were not on it at all,
Oh,
which is
that's
crazy. So this was one of the ones that spent some time off the list, and I just thought, no, it's It's too important
this?
to not list in the
Fuck
big
yeah.
boy top 10. My number 10 is Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah,
Hi-Fi
man,
Rush.
I need to get to this one.
This is just such a cool, interesting take on
I think this is Toast
like,
and
the
Marshmallow or
character
Stink
action
Bug
beat 'em up
again.
genre, which is a genre like I don't get super hardcore into those games. I've played DMC4. I really liked Bayonetta 1 and 2, but I'm never good at them. Like especially with Bayonetta, it's more like I play for the over the top story and go, oh, that was fun, and then not touch it again.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's
Hi-Fi
so
Rush
gross.
has literally everything happen on the beat. You attack on the beat, you parry
How?
on the beat, you dodge on the beat. Because enemies are also synced to it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That
I
sounds
think
fun.
Makes those kind of games
Yeah.
a lot more
Yeah.
like
It's so cool.
digestible.
If
What's the Capcom game that does that?
And you turn them into rhythm adventures.
Gurumin.
Yeah,
I think
that
it's
sounds
a
like it goes
little-
way harder on it.
It goes. I think it goes way higher. I didn't play a ton of Gurumin, but it is a similar concept, I think.
Ugh.
Because you can attack off beat, but like the animation will be slowed down so that it still ends up hitting on the beat for you. So it's more like you just kind of have a slight whiff of an attack.
Ooh, whiff.
And like having
blank?
everything on the same beat consistently for the whole game, it just made me feel like I could actually be good at one of these in a way that none of them ever have.
Interesting.
It's like,
I like that.
because it's like I'll be doing my combo on the beat, and then I see an enemy winding up an attack, and I know, guaranteed, it's going to make me dodge or block on that same beat that's already internalized in my head.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've
Rhythm
seen
games are
people
great.
say that this game messes them up because they're expecting it more like a rhythm game. Because I've heard it described as like rhythm games you play on the note, and this you play on the beat. There may not necessarily be a note at the same time. You just have to feel it.
Yeah, that is a game that I would excel at because I'm
Yeah,
a drummer.
I think you'd be. Yeah,
Indeed. I'd like to see
I
you play
music,
it, Polly.
so I
10-hour
can feel the
stream
beat,
coming
and,
up.
like, I actually thought they were gonna mess with it more, like have
When you
like,
get good
oh,
enough at,
level
like,
2, the
Clone
beat
Hero
is
and
slower
stuff,
now.
You don't
And they
necessarily
actually
look at
do
all the
that.
notes.
It's pretty much.
You
I think
listen
it's
to the
exact
beat in
same
your head.
timing the entire game.
That's
Interesting.
interesting.
Until they did
Yo,
do a
that was
DLC where
close.
it's like a combat arena, and it speeds up as you do better.
5 threes.
There is a
The
little bit of
tease.
fuckery, but it's only in like the post game stuff.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
But yeah, this game, like the combat feels good to me in a way that stuff usually doesn't. Like, because it gets to the point where it's like you have your basic combo at the start, and then it's like, oh, now summon your partner character on the beat, and then do the super move on the beat. So I was actually learning
is.
proper combos in this game,
Nice.
which I just don't usually bother to give a shit about.
And then it feels real good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels real good. Like, okay, now I'm going to do the launcher, now I'm going to jump, and it's like, it's just
Oh.
all timed out in a way
Ow.
that made sense to my brain. And the other thing I want to mention about this game is that it has licensed music for the boss fights,
Oh,
Ooh.
and some of them made my jaw hit the floor.
Oh.
Not going to spoil what they
Let the
are,
jaw
but we
hit
would
the
all
floor.
appreciate them.
oh.
I
Excuse me.
could not believe what was happening when I got to the final boss and the music started.
Oh fuck. All right.
I was like, you have to be kidding. This isn't happening. You're not using this track for the final boss. But they do.
Very excited.
So yeah,
to get
this
to
was a
this one.
game.
That's
I had a
funny.
lot of fun with it. I refused to cut it from my list,
Oh.
even though it did slip all the way down to 10.
Top banana and wet dog again. Lovely, lovely.
So that's Hi-Fi Rush. And it's
Yeah.
really, also part of why I really didn't want to cut it is what happened to that fucking studio.
Got a banana.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Man, fuck
think-
video games, dude.
Agreed.
Maybe there were some, I didn't follow up on it. Maybe they were being bought
Oh,
by
wow.
somebody else.
Maybe, I don't know. It was a rough year for video games, dude.
Yeah. A rough year after last year being an extremely rough
An
year.
extremely rough year, yeah. Like we are here celebrating video games as much as we can, but at the same time, you
Yeah.
have to acknowledge
The industry is in a bust right now
it
with
sucks
post-COVID,
so bad.
like, coming down.
and literally just studios wanting to.
Yeah, that before the industry is. I grab it a jelly bean here. It's a licorice or burnt rubber again, of course. But the video game industry, like there was some, I don't know, like 14,000 games that came out on Steam this year. Like there's so many games happening these days. So many like AAA shit that's just not exciting or fun, and we've seen it all before. There's these indie companies that just want to make their money and throw any kind of crap out there. And then there's these really good indie devs out there making really fun games. Or just lower end companies, like UFO 50 is fantastic. But like the saturation and capitalistic greed that has gripped gaming as it does grips everything in life has just really exploded. Much like everything else in the last few years.
To kill everything with AI. So they're firing everybody and keeping numbers low so that because they really want that AI miracle to come through.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Which it won't.
It won't, no. An
Yeah,
AI
burnt
is
rubber.
not going to make a hi-fi rush. No matter how many times you feed it hi-fi rush, it is not going to make you something as good and crafted as hi-fi rush.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Polly,
Yes.
do you have a case of listener listitis?
It's not a case of listener listitis again. It's just traveling from podcast to podcast. But we've got a list from, I believe this is actually somebody new. They're referred to as the R-Man.
The R-Man.
I don't know what the R stands. Probably radical, if I had to imagine. Probably radical.
Radical?
The Red Man. Rhett wanted to send an extra list with all of his.
It's not me. It's not me.
Why is Koikatsu on here?
3 times.
3 times. All right, from the R-Man, they state, "Hey yo, I want to submit my games for the Game of the Year 2024 podcast. Congratulations, you've emailed the right address."
This was like the first list I got too, like a month ago.
Oh wow, nice, on the ball, really.
Yeah.
So, they're listed in an order, but there is no number, so we're just going to read them in the order that they appear. We have Indigo Park, Chapter 1.
Ooh, straight.
A nice little indie horror game where you explore an abandoned theme park.
Ooh.
Even though it's just the first chapter, it gives you a nice introduction to the story and gets you excited for future installments. It doesn't contain that many jump scares, but enough to keep your eyes out.
Okay.
The next game is Meteora's Mystic Merge. I love me some.
Sorry, I just looked at
alliterations.
Box art and it's very funny.
Yeah.
Strawberry or dead
Meteora's
fish again.
Mystic Merge. I love me some good alliteration. A fun little Suika game clone with the bonus that you can use abilities and features like a gacha-like system where you only pay with in-game coins, which you get by playing the game and you don't have to pay. Some abilities are burn the smallest orbs, create a black hole, or switch all the orbs around. That could be fun. I think that's a fun way to approach something like that, especially if you don't have to give it real money.
Yeah.
And the last game they mentioned is one that I just added to my wish list a couple days ago, which is My Side or Me Side. It's Miside. Miside? I'm not sure how that's supposed to be pronounced. But this is currently only the demo is available at the time of this writing. This is a short psychological horror game about you getting into a visual novel. Well, that's believable. / Stardew Valley-like mobile game. Living together with the main character, Mika.
What?
It is very cutesy, but it doesn't hold back. That the game considers you an anomaly. Visual glitches here, some long hallways there. In the end, lets you, only in the demo, you can pick one, decide if you want to stay with Mita or if you want to end up in her closet. And if you're anything like me, this is me editorializing right now, I'm kind of always ready to end up in a girl's closet.
You ain't lying, Polly.
But yeah.
Got a closet over here.
Blurbs are okay. The R-Man. They're absolutely fantastic. The most wonderful blurbs I've ever read.
It's funny. It looks like Miside actually just came out 4 days ago.
Yeah, I think that's why
awesome.
I put it. That's why I put it on my wish
Neat.
list. I think it actually just came out. So yeah,
I like it.
I love the premise.
Overwhelmingly positive on Steam with almost 5,000 reviews.
Damn.
That. Oh wow, that caught on real fast.
That caught on real fast.
Holy shit, John.
Oh my god.
That's me.
Number 10.
All right. Let's kick off with a bang. Sylvie RPG 7 Elf Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Nice.
This also. All right. This is our second elf game, right?
I
should
think
keep a running tally of that.
You're the elf.
Year of the elf. Year of the elf count.
You're the elf now, dog.
I really like this one. Sylvie released several games since last year's list. I think last year I put Sylvie Lime on.
Yeah.
Funeral Song for the Elemental Lords is really cool. I did the first route basically. I think this is like little teeny Void Stranger where there's a bunch of you play through multiple times and it transforms in different ways. That one seems really cool.
Yeah.
Snowy Miniature was a really cute bite-sized explorer platformer thing. This is the one that just really hit me good. It's very what's that G Master System? It looks like Zelda but isn't. Polly, help me out.
You're
here.
thinking of Nestopia?
Master System Zelda.
I'm gonna call it Master System Zelda. We'll just call it that.
God damn. Golvelius. All right. It was
Golvelius.
Where it's you have a top-down.
I've played Golvelius before. That's a 4-house,
but
by the way.
there's a secret on every single every screen.
Yeah.
And all of them have different triggers to affect them. But there's cute hints and there's a whole language basically to sussing out what the different triggers are.
Almost Faeruni.
Yeah, and you don't need to activate every secret to finish the game. It's very
I have
free
2 jelly
form,
beans coming up actually.
Without, a guide or whatnot.
Triple double and a 4-house.
It's bump combat. That's really, really cute.
Bump
The story
combat.
is really cute. It's got some
I like
insane
it.
boss fights. especially near
Idolite
the
shout
end.
out.
I think this one's just a really tight package. I really, really like this one.
Tight package.
Yeah, this one sounds really good. This is one that I saw you talking about earlier in the year. I just never got around to it.
So either Booger and Stinky Socks or Tutti Frutti and Juicy Pear. Let's find out.
And on my computer, actually. But it's just what I did not get to. Because I kind of I liked the Faeruniness of it.
Yeah.
Double lucky there.
The world of top-down, screen-by-screen bump combat action RPGs that are bite-sized is wonderful.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite things.
It's one of those. I want to make one of those someday.
The design notes are if you it's free, but if you pay $7, you get a bunch of bonuses.
Yeah,
including a complete secret guide, a full map.
People got to make their money
also,
still.
7,000 words of design notes on making the game. This also came together in 3 months, which is insane for the scope of what this is.
For the scope of how big
Rico
this thing
Wembanyama!
Project.
What's up, FDI?
She slammed it out. All right, that's my number 10.
That's a
Year of
solid.
Elf.
That is a good number 10.
Year of the Elf continues. I think that's going to be where we end up. It's not really about the game. It's just more everybody just wants to fuck an elf, dude.
Again,
I want to
who's
the whole subway thing.
no lies
thinking,
detected.
I want to have unprotected sex with an elf.
We have another audio list. This one comes in from a fairly recent addition to the Sox community named Kusukari. I call him Kusokari.
Kusukari. Oh, look at you, Polly. Fucking destroyed him. Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
He better.
He better. Exactly.
Yeah, I
If
listened
you submitted a list,
You have to.
you better be here.
You better be here for it. We put in the time. We put in the time to make sure your words are here. But yeah, Kusukari, recent member, the recently joined the community. Been a lot of fun. Let's hear what games piqued my guy's interest over the last year in 3.
There's so many triple doubles.
Play.
All right, so for my Game of the Year submissions, I have a very clear favorite, but someone else here is definitely going to go into more detail about it, so I'm going to let them cover it. So my other 3, first and foremost, Soma. It's by Frictional Games, same people that made Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Possible Stinky Socks here.
Instead of running away from monsters, you're basically running away from reality. It's a very existential crisis kind of game.
Tutti Frutti.
You're basically questioning at what point are you still you if you make infinite copies of yourself, fully conscious? Are any of them more human, quote unquote, than the rest? It also takes place in a apocalyptic setting.
An apocalyptic
so
setting.
You're one of the last people
Come on now.
alive. So it's at what point does loneliness also start affecting your mindset? It's pretty much just a mental boom the whole time. Very, very fun, enjoyable game. And there's some genuinely terrifying stuff as well. It's not just
Hey,
you thinking
cooler.
the whole time. It just adds to it.
Mary
Would recommend
Pizzas.
highly, especially if horror is your thing. Number 2, Chrono Arc. It's a roguelike deck builder. If you've played Slay the Spire, you've played something pretty similar.
I do love Slay the Spire.
Whereas Slay the Spire is pretty bare bones in terms of concept, Chrono Arc has
Excuse me?
pickable characters to choose from, and has a genuine story that I think is very enthralling. I
bare
picked up
bones.
bits and pieces of it down the line. Man, is it perfect? No, but it has a lot going for it. It's come out with 2 DLC so far that adds some skins, some cards, and some funny events. I mean, it's not like the biggest thing in the world, but I like it a lot. And I've put 100+ hours into it just since I bought it in over the summer. So definitely would recommend. Also, unless you just don't like roguelike deck builders. Not that I've played many more other than Slay the Spire and Chrono Arc, so maybe it's not as good as I think it is comparatively. But I enjoyed it a lot, and that's what really matters, right?
Yes.
And number 3, probably my quote-unquote most controversial, Blue Archive. The Twitter community and fan art just community in general for it suck ass. I mean, genuinely god-awful. I don't think I need to explain why they are awful. I'm sure you can figure it out on your own. And if you don't know already, let's just say most of the characters are in school. I'm sure you can figure out what that means. But that aside,
your opinion is wrong.
It genuinely has some very good character writing and story beats past the intro. I mean, it has that typical gacha thing where they don't really know if it's going to stick in the beginning, so they kind of just throw stupid humor in the first bit, because you don't want to go full power if you're not going to actually get funding. But it hit, luckily, and I'm glad it did. It has a banging OST, tons of tracks I jam to at the gym. It has a lot of colorful characters and personalities. I mean, is every one of them amazing? Obviously not. But I'd say there's a great majority more good than bad. I wouldn't even say there's many bad, just some that are The company that made it's run into a little legal trouble here and there because of offshoots of it, and so they've had to delay some new content. But still, very much enjoyed what I've played so far. My favorite is Volume 3. If any of you have played it, I would assume not, but hey, I don't know. Maybe at least one of you has. And my favorite character is Azusa. So she's a cute little robot killing machine. It's not actually. I just have a big thing for like human war weapons, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, it doesn't have a lot of gameplay. It's a pretty whatever gotcha in that side of things. I've had a golden horseshoe up my ass in terms of luck pulling for characters.
All right.
So no complaints for me there, and it's got a good bit of good design.
Love them golden horseshoes, baby.
But it has a lot of good. And by God, for the fan art that isn't in that vein of thinking, there's a lot of good stuff. So, yeah, those are my 3 submissions for Game of the Year.
All right. Well, thank you so much for contributing. As a
baby.
One, it's just like, why haven't I gotten to that yet?
What was that last game again?
You're dying to play Blue Archive.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm being
was
told
it Blue
on
Archive?
the grapevine that there's elves in Blue Archive, so I'm adding that.
All right, the elf count continues to climb. The year of the elf.
Year of the elf.
Year of Elf 3. Okay.
All right. So we're circling back around to once
Blue
again.
Archive, I think.
Something. What?
Yeah.
I have a listener list. Sorry,
man, I'm so bad at following outlines.
I'll put mine after the audio list. That's how you'll remember.
All right, you are after the audio list. All right, Rhett.
Okay. This comes in from Braylif.
Oh, Braylif's list.
Let's go. Okay. The 3 games I played this year are Rail Heist, a stealth action platformer with incredibly creative gameplay. It's interesting.
Yes.
It's interesting to play as cowboy outlaws who
Rail
suck at
Heist
loading a
is
gun,
so
but punch
good.
people hard enough to send them flying. Once I started playing it, I couldn't stop
Double
until I
triple.
binged the game to 100% over 6 hours. It also allows me to to recreate my favorite scene from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where John Wayne punches a hole through the floor of a train with his bare hands and then tricks all the lawmen into shooting each other into it. It's really funny. You can punch through walls in that game.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's amazing.
That
I
really
love that
reminds me
game.
of, oh god, Gunvolt? No, not Gunvolt.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Katana Zero.
There was-
Tutti Frutti again.
Gunbound? I don't. I'm sorry.
Gunbound.
No.
Gunpoint.
Gunpoint. I think it was
Gunpoint.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, that game's rad. Gunpoint's
Yes.
amazing.
Rail Heist is very similar to that, but with like the Wild West theme and no hacking. But
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
maybe
a lot
I
of
should
fun.
look into
Okay,
Gunpoint
next
then.
on
Wow.
this list,
Okay.
Vanger is a better Super Metroid
Vanger.
than Super Metroid.
Oh,
I don't know if I agree with that one, but that game is also great.
woohoo! That is a spicy hot take right there. Oh.
Wait, Real Heist was part of UFO 50,
Yeah,
right?
that's part of you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I had to pause for a
And the
second
third game
there.
on this list, Mini and Max is one of the coolest games I've ever played.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a Metroidvania with
cool.
Super Mario Brothers 2 Combat, which is fun enough on its own. But then I got to the other mechanic, and it completely blew my mind. Somehow, every obscure corner I stumble into manages to have an upgrade that changes my life forever. The feeling of walking into a room and seeing a Chozo statue has been dethroned by the feeling of walking on the head of an enemy and finding the ability to command bugs and viruses to do my bidding. I'm sure Silk Song will be pretty
777.
good, but will it be as good as Mini and Max? I'm not so sure.
Silk Song isn't coming out.
Silk
Silk Song
Max-
is done.
Mini Max was one of the ones that seemed like kind of like one of the standouts where people would have responded really strongly to it, even if it hadn't
If
been
it
part of
was-
the
It's
collection.
impressive.
Wasn't a part of the
It's
collection.
so much
Alright,
bigger
somebody
than
wants
you'd think it
So to be
is.
clear, all three of those games are
Or
UFO
UFO
50.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just 3 of the 50.
3 of the 50 have made have encompassed an entire game of the year list.
I've only played, of those 3, I only played Ranger. It was good.
Yeah. You flip.
There's so many fucking UFO 50 games. It's great.
It's
All right,
50 of
anytime
them.
if somebody links individual games, I'm going to count that as a UFO 50 one.
Yeah.
If they link multiple
I'm
ones,
hearing
then
my
I'll
own
count that as
podcast.
Okay.
Gotcha. Alright. So now we'll circle
Okay.
to me.
Now, Polly.
All right. Sorry for jumping the gun there, Braylif. My bad. I want to state something about
Watching
the
Rika
project and
Ferrude.
mine is that if you didn't know already, a bunch of people in our community make video games. And
Yay.
it was
They
very
do.
hard for me to make a list and leave anybody off. So I have not
You gotta
encoded.
do it. You just
couldn't.
gotta have a cold heart.
I
Ollie.
cannot do it, and I did not do it. So I'm sorry if you like. I want to do something special about the community output in like January or February. Keep an eye out
What
for
a
something
sweetheart.
about that later.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
So, all right, I just kind of wanted to get that out there. I forgot to mention that up front. That
Okay, so you're not including community member games on this list because
On
you
my
want to celebrate
list.
them all at once later.
yeah, I'm gonna do something.
Ah,
Because
okay,
it feel too
okay.
bad to cut them.
Dude,
Yeah.
I tried. There were a lot of iterations of my list where I had people's game on my games on my list, and then I was just like, but I feel bad leaving off. And
Oh,
I
sure,
can't do it.
sure,
I can't.
sure.
I feel terrible.
I've been doing it for years, Polly.
can't-
I've been
I
sitting
cannot
there, I've been
do
like, nope,
Oops,
sorry.
straight.
I'm not
no,
heartless
sorry.
enough. I'm not heartless enough.
My games I love 2024 collection on itch is 54 games right now.
Yeah, have fun with
It's
that.
the most-
Enjoy
it's the
breaking
most-
everybody's hearts.
It's the most itch games I've ever gotten for in a
Excuse me?
specific year. It's the biggest
Oh,
any of
itch
these collections
games.
I've ever got, including the
Thought
ones
they
I
said
add to
H
after the fact.
games.
All right.
All right. Jumping into number 9. My number 9 is a case of up next in. This game's entirely Polly's jam. How the hell hasn't she gotten
Peach
into
or
this yet?
barf? All right.
My number 9 is Hypnospace Outlaw.
Oh,
Of course it'd be barf.
So I think that this is a game where you can say a lot about it. It's a unique premise of you being like an internet cop.
I have to stop for a second because I want to hear this. This is so fucking nasty. Rotten ass egg. Oh god. I'm sure some of those are H games. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh nom nom nom. So good.
And there's a lot of very cool ways that they play with that, and a lot
Like
of
rotten pizza.
very fun
Ugh.
sleuthing you have to do through their big fake weird internet to solve the cases, and then the narrative takes some absolutely insane turns, which have you exploring the internet after major events happen, and it's kind of haunting in a way.
Yeah.
Cool.
But what I think that this
Striking
game
moments.
comes down
I
to
like those
here
moments in
is
games.
immersion. I think that this
Immersion.
game is a perfect goddamn representation of browsing the early internet.
Ooh.
And
Interesting.
I don't say things like this a lot, but you are literally playing this game wrong if you're just mainlining your mission queue and you're not just spending most of your time trawling around the game's big fake internet. There's so much. They put
That's awesome.
there is
Hey,
so
Coach.
much content to
Angie
be found
boy.
in this game. Either just hopping from link to link to link, or like when you figure out how to directly go to people's like weird places that they've made, searching around in that, finding files to download, and purposefully infecting yourself with viruses. Just a lot of really fun stuff that this game does.
Aren't there like entire albums of like garage bands?
Yes, there's like entire like garage band albums there. You can't forget the Chowder Man, baby.
The Chowder Man.
There's just so much fun to be found in all of like the weird. Like I keep telling myself, I want to go back to this game and do a playthrough where I just try to find the entire internet. I want to see it all.
Yeah.
Like I think I
Fuck
end up
yeah.
when I finished the game, I ended up seeing about 80% of it. Which that's a lot. There's so
Damn.
much. There's so
Okay.
much to find, and it is all just literally this late 1990s internet where, your pages are just exploding in chunky ass gifs and like bad MIDI music playing all over the place. It's so good.
As someone that was there in the 90s doing my own GeoCities thing, this is like way too authentic.
It's
Oh, wow,
cool.
okay.
There's even like an editor where you can make and put your own pages in the game if you want.
Really? I think
There's an editor.
in the
Really?
software, like,
Yeah.
and outside.
You can put it in the game. You can make it like accessible.
I think I
Oh,
missed
that's
that.
really cool.
I think it was literally only added like
okay.
like this year.
Oh, okay. I played this a couple of years ago. That's really great.
But it's so great looking at all these bad web pages with like awful formatting, eye-searing backgrounds, grammatical and spelling errors, and it's just there is a world to enjoy here. And I think that like if you are playing this game and not doing that, you're just not enjoying Hypnospace Outlaw for what it really is. And it's just like for me, like I think the story is really good. But I think the entire experience of just trawling that big fake internet and how much love they put into making sure that there's just stuff you can always find and is so fun. Hypnospace Outlaw is amazing.
Hypnospace Outlaw, Coach.
So that's my number 9.
That's a beautiful number 9 there, Polly. What's up, Panza? Sad how it ended, yeah. The Sly runs are pretty awesome. We're gonna be getting into I'll get you on the list here even. We're gonna be getting into Fallout, Jesus Christ. There's a word for this. XCOM later. That's the name. Merry Pizza! Alright. I'm gonna show you the fucking art Cooler has made for my mistake of yesterday's stream. Before we continue here in a second. Oops. Look at this shit. Oh, I made it too big. Merry Pizzas! All because of this fucking thing I did last night when I was exiting stream. Where's that clip at? Look at this real quick. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Merry Pizzas. Oh, no, Merry Christmas. Let me turn up a little bit. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Merry pizzas. Oh, no, Merry Christmas. Because there's more of that. There's celebration coming tonight. Merry pizzas, man. Oh, shit, what's so creepy death? Oh my god. I had Merry pizzas and then Cooler drew this. It's great. Thank you, Cooler. I love it. Oh yeah, I was hungry. I didn't eat any like food that whole day.
Fuck yeah. That sounds dope.
That game sounds fucking awesome, Polly.
Yeah, this one's real good. Goes down real smooth. So I do believe coming up next we've got we got a listener list from our good pal Jetstorm 4.
Ooh,
as
Jetstorm.
read by John Thayer.
And I so fucked up. I fucked up where I closed the thing. I closed the list. I closed the folder for all the lists.
Nice.
Oh, well done. Well done, Jeff.
You're such a rube.
Oh my god.
I'm leaving this in.
It all up.
I'm leaving this in so everybody knows that once again,
Aw,
John Thayer
I'm happy
has
to hear that
completely
creep on
fucked
there.
up the
Fucked it all
podcast.
up.
We'll be doing more of that later.
Hi, Success.
Okay.
Fucking got rubed.
Success. Once again, it is that time for Game of the Year. This year had a lot of good stuff in it. Honestly, it was better than last year in that regard. But here are the ones I liked the most. Number 3, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. They did it. Not only did they finally make a real Zelda game, but they made it one of the best Zelda games I've played in a very long time. They took the ideas of a more freeform Zelda and gave it an actual narrative and plot with its own coherent rules and puzzle format that felt great to solve through. While you get a lot of echoes, you eventually find yourself using a select few favorites, but I can see those favorites being different for everyone. One of my new favorite Zelda games in general, and my favorite modern Zelda game. I'm so glad Grezzo got to make their own finally.
Yeah.
This is the first Zelda in years that actually looks good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to my list where it's going to be like 10 words. I kept mine short. Because the first thing I heard is like, please keep it a little bit short because we're having a lot to get through. So I wrote like a sentence for each of my games. And I'm listening to all these elaborate ass explanations. I just think it's funny.
Playing this one at some point. I loved everything about this in its lead up. It looks so good.
I remember watching the trailer and being like, "Wait, what? This looks fun. This looks like something I'd want to play." I'm not
like
used to
that
this feeling coming up when friends are posting about Nintendo Directs. Number 2, Harvestella. The goal of any 2024 game this year was it had to try and beat Harvestella. As you see, not very much was successful. What was advertised and promoted as a farm sim turned out to be an incredible science fiction story about humanity's relationship with nature, technology, and the past, along with farm mechanics to raise money to continue on dungeon calls with various party members, job classes, and a cute siren girl. Whew. This is my new favorite farm sim action RPG of all time. Which is a genre I find myself in often somehow. If the concept seems intimidating, don't worry, it's easier than even Rune Factory to make work for you. Also, I got my main character marry the cute siren girl at the end, and it was great.
Oh,
a lot of extra friends were kind of wigging out about the Harvestella.
Yeah, really Harvestella kept popping up on my
Harvestella
on lists that I've been reading too, like from other people that I trust and listen to. And yeah, maybe I need to give that one a little more of an honest look sometime.
Cool. Number 1, this will be a second mention here, Ys 10 Nordics. Update the queue, the one game to beat Harvestella. I was not expecting Ys 10 to top my previous favorite 3D Ys game, Ys 9, but eventually did.
Wow.
While I still think I like the world of Ys 9 better overall, Ys 10 brings its own flavor with a new combat system with only 2 characters, Adol and Karja. God, that sounds so good. That sounds so cool.
Yeah. I'm really into that whole idea of it just being 2 characters.
It's the best things in an Ys game is when there's Adol and a cool girl.
It's really back to basics.
And Ys, Ys 8 was that, but they had all these other characters, garbaging things up.
There were multiple cool girls.
Oh, that was
there's the cool girl, and then there's the girl that it's like, you're a lot like my dad, Adol.
Adol, I kind of want to fuck my dad, I think.
I want to fuck my dad, and you're like my dad.
Oh my
That's
god.
Cool. All right, I'm just being mean. I love he's 8. Add-on cards are lessening the busy work of the raid battles to be way more enjoyable, and even making the ship combat fun. One of my favorite parts of the game. Even everybody's really defensive about the ship combat.
Everybody loves the ship
CC
combat.
pair
This
or
is like the
booger?
one thing where I was like, oh god, please don't be terrible.
Fun.
The supporting cast was fun, and while the early parts of the game were a little long, the middle and back halves of the game shook things up enough, leading to one of the best final bosses ever. East End was an incredible time, one of my new favorite overall packages from Falcom. Thank you all for this community and everything. We'll get through 2025 together.
Let's hope so.
Dark Lord Thomas Jetstorm 4. Thank you, Tom.
I love how the name at the end has 2 different quote parts.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very good.
It's very
I'm putting down Harvestella and Echoes of Wisdom because I think there's a chance.
yeah.
All right, if there's elves in a game, I'm not going to note it unless people specifically mention the elves.
Okay.
So that's how we're doing it here.
Okay.
Has to
Okay.
mention the elves from now on. Okay.
Rhett,
Hi.
number 9.
Mm-hmm.
So this was another game I thought about cutting from my list because it's a little simple. It's a little, basic and to the point, but I was just like, man, it's just so much fun to play.
And better than Tevi.
Better than Tevi for sure.
Better than Teddy for sure.
My number 9 is Gal Guardian's Demon Purge.
Hey, that's a good one.
Great.
Gal Guardian Demon Bird.
This one really, really caught me off guard because I thought it was going to be, the Inti Creates, like, kind of.
They have
like-
a trash tier where it's just
Yeah.
like, we're just kind of releasing this character
yeah,
platformer game. Remember that
Yeah.
Love Live game that felt terrible?
Yeah, like the contract work by the books thing, like the Love Live game. But you can clearly tell that this is based on the Galgun franchise, which is their true passion.
Yes.
And they put a lot of love into making this one feel good to play.
Yeah.
You have 2 characters, they're sisters, which is also great.
They're cute as a button.
You got the melee girl and the gun girl, and they have, as you go through the game, they get different abilities like rocket launcher, which is awesome.
Rocket
And it's
launcher.
just really fun to play. And then it does one of my
Yeah,
favorite
we're doing
things
an hour each day.
where
FYI,
you
at
beat the
least.
game, or so you think.
Listen to
And
the
then it
podcast.
resets you back to stage 1 and goes, the real Gal Guardian starts here.
Here.
And then
special
it's like,
Daily
by the way,
Nipah at the end
now
of the
you
year.
unlock the hub. Now you unlock the ability to replay stages. Now there's
Well,
upgrades everywhere.
several.
I'm just like, oh, okay, the real game really did just actually start here.
Now there's like 100 girls in 100 panties you have to find.
Yeah, the whole
If you
collection.
want, if you want. Like, but hey, that's
whole
there
collecting
if you
thing.
want it.
I was like, nah, I'm not.
I
That's a
didn't
little
do
bit
any
much.
of that, but I love that it's there because I think that it's
Uh-huh.
a case of just like the person that made this game.
I didn't do
they
any of
wanted,
that.
They wanted to make
Uh-huh.
this game forever, and they finally
Yeah.
got the go ahead. And you
Uh-huh.
can feel that excitement bursting out of every pore of this game.
There's a lot of excitement, especially in the second half. It gets like this game is very like by the books at the start, story wise, and then the further and further in you get, it just gets hornier and hornier.
Yeah. They hide the horniness really well. Like, I remember when this game came out, it wasn't even marketed as a Galgun game. It was just Grim
Yeah.
Guardians. And nobody knew off the cuff immediately that it was a Galgun game. And then a bunch of people found out that it was a Galgun game and got like weird and pissed off about it, like they'd been fooled into playing some porn game. Despite the fact that the game isn't really porny, it's just
it's
just
not.
a little horny.
You definitely don't go on quests to get school swimsuits or anything.
Thank you, Polly.
Yeah, it reveals its hand as a Galgun thing further and
Not
further
porny.
as you get.
It's just horny.
Ridiculous.
Until one variation of the final boss just turns into actual Galgun.
Literally, yeah, the fun. Like, if you do all of the collecting and get all the panties and the swimsuits and take them back to all of the girls,
Huh. Look how much she
unlock
knows.
an actual Galgun final boss
Oh,
fight.
look at that.
Where you you have to hit the spots on their body. You have to. It's so silly.
Is this gonna be your way into Galgun, Rhett?
Oh, it definitely is because I like the main characters enough to buy them.
I have a
buy the
Galgun
one-
game in my catalog now.
Yeah,
Horny,
I'll probably
just
play Double
horny.
Piece next year because that's the one that focuses on them.
Yeah,
I gotta tweet that.
Yeah, I just thought like the general movement and combat, like in the
it just
stages,
feels
though, it
great.
just feels really good.
It's so solid.
Like, both characters are great. I like the melee girl. I like rocket launcher girl. Like, once I got that, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
this
I've
is
never
just what
used
I'm
any
using
of
the
it.
rest of the
Yep,
game.
that's the only one
Gal
I'm using.
gun, something or
Yeah,
another.
all the sub weapons are fun. It just felt really good to play.
Yeah, like this game's got game feel all the way down.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's my number 9.
That is a solid number 9. I have a listener list. This is from Rika Reedman, who is
Rika?
a new VTuber friend of mine that I recently
Cool.
met.
Rika's
They have
Gal
an
Gun Double
incredible
Piece.
design. It's very based
no,
on
something else.
Read or Die's main character. So you should absolutely go check out Rika Reedman. She's awesome. And she also does a lot of visual
Rika's
novel
right
streaming
here.
too. So we
This
have
is
that in
Rika.
common. It's nice to meet other people that have that same niche. So yeah, she's cool as hell. Everybody check her out.
Gal
She said,
Guardians,
"Hello,
thank you,
I saw
thank
your
you,
video
that's
about
the
the
one."
podcast you're hosting this year, and
I
I
was
wanted
like,
to
I
submit
know
my
it's
personal picks for Game
something,
of the Year
but
2024.
my brain just
I've typed them up below.
fucks up.
999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors was a wonderfully written take on the whole death game genre, which I do think stands
Oh,
above
wow.
a lot more a lot of more modern takes, despite being written
The
back
best
in
of life.
2009. Oh my
nice.
god! Don't make me feel old. Like don't put years in these things. I know we said you could put him from any year you wanted, but don't write the year down. That's just gonna make me turn to dust. This game features a mostly adult cast, various subplot lines, and a gimmick within the flow mechanic that keeps
Peach
things
or barf?
super fresh throughout. Combined with the various twists and well-timed
only have
villain
6
reveals,
more.
as well as some truly fun puzzles, I think this might have been my favorite game to play this year. It spawned an entire trilogy called the Zero Escape series, but I think the first game is far and above the best of the bunch. Praise be to Uchikoshi Kitaro.
Beach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Signalis. Signalis is a game I went into almost completely blind. The only thing I knew about it was survival
Signalis.
horror, and all my lesbian friends love it. And I think that's the best way to go into it.
Ooh,
I've always been a
that
big
sounds
fan
nice,
of classic
Polly.
Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and this scratches that itch so well. Paired with a really great storytelling and some super compelling characters, this could easily have taken the spot of my game of the year for this year.
Ooh.
I'm not biased because I'm also the taller butch in my relationship. Nope. And here's one I know that's gonna get some love: Yakuza 0.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yakuza
I can see
0
that.
is pretty old. Please don't say the
No.
year. Please don't say the year. But it was my first dip into the series. The characters
I
are
never
so
played it, but
unforgettable, and while the combat
it's
isn't
straight.
usually what attracts me to games, it stays engaging enough to not make me hate it. The characterization, the storylines are so strong in the series. Are so strong in the series, though, that I think you could just watch a movie of the cutscenes and you'd still be hooked. Play Yakuza!
Nice.
Thanks for reading through. Looking forward to the podcast. Sincerely, Rika
Yeah.
Reedman.
Thank you, Rika Reedman. I have to pause because we got the final pomegranate / old bandage. There's only 4 other jelly beans even left in here. I don't want this to be the bandage. You have no idea how much I wanted to lie that this still exists. Oh, God. Much to your dismay, it's pomegranate. We may have another bean boozled in the house if somebody else doesn't eat it. I may go through another one of these. Oh, man.
Badass.
I was
I have a
legit
question.
scared.
I know this isn't part of Year of the Elf, but does it count if the VTuber is an elf?
She is an elf. She do be an elf.
You know what? Let's be permissive about it. So like,
All right. You're the elf.
I'm counting this as a year of the elf.
Sure.
Rika, you're adding to the elf count.
Excellent.
All right, John.
I've got a
9.
number 9 for y'all.
All right, let's go.
This was not on my list until like yesterday because
Oh my God.
because I finished this December 17th.
Woo!
And last
That's
year,
wow.
it was either, I think it was the year before, I forgot Trans Ruby existed, and I didn't
Oh.
put it on the list and I didn't know about it until it was year number 1.
Oh my god.
And it killed me. I was like, I completely forgot Trans Ruby. I'm dying.
It's a good thing that I gave it Game of the Year. I gave it the highest honor.
I think Trans Ruby got its due.
Yeah.
Good.
But my number 9 is Tales of Fantasia.
Woo!
Okay.
So I played the PS1 version with the Fantasian Productions patch. So Cecile played the older PS1 patch and said it was really dry.
Yeah.
And there's also the Super Nintendo patch, which is famously not dry.
Yeah.
Is it moist?
Famously moist.
In a way or two.
That's the Arch. I bet Arch fucks like a tiger.
Yeah,
patch.
that's the one.
But the Fantasia, the patch we played was just pitch perfect. It just hit exactly right. It's playful, but it never like broke the tone. And the PS1 version also adds in the skits. Those aren't in the original SNES version.
Oh, right, they're not.
And the skits are wonderful. They're the voice acting's lovely. The character
Nice.
writing is lovely.
They're often the best part of Tales games, honestly.
Yeah, we're playing Berseria now, and I don't think it's going to make the list next year. But it's a lot better than Vesperia. But like,
Well, it doesn't take much.
yeah, the reason that I think Fantasia is going to be my favorite Tales game is that it's all of these games are sprawling. All of them are long. All of them luxuriate in the characters and the character interactions.
I believe it.
I think the strength of Fantasia is that the story itself still has a really strong focus to it. It is all about Daos. They introduce this villain up front. He's really, 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 really strong and scary. And the entire thrust of the plot is about your evolving relationship with this villain. And he's the villain from beginning to end.
And it makes that makes it
oh
feel
my God.
like not like I'm gonna use the word intimate.
That's close.
And I know that word often comes with a different, connotation. But it's definitely like
Intimate,
that
yeah.
story is it does feel like weirdly intimate.
Absolutely.
Because it has such a singular focus.
Yeah.
There's one optional scene in the last world that's like just all about Daos that Cecile helped me find, and it just is like the way that whole story plays out really hit me good, especially since the PS1 version adds an extra final boss phase that really I had like
Ooh.
when the final boss hits just right, so you're like you're like a
Hitting
half
that
hour
spot
in
just
and you're
right.
hanging by a thread.
Yeah.
You got like next to no items left. All of my characters are dead except for Cress, and I was like, okay, I'm out of items. Let's just wail on him and hope for the best. I've been fighting my absolute hardest, and then I just barely won.
Oh.
It felt real good.
Always feels good.
So they add the dungeons are epic and mazy. It's not a tight like propulsive Final Fantasy roller coaster. It feels probably more in line with like the PC RPGs that I think Wolf Team made or like it played with.
Nice.
Because they were PC devs beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I just got in the zone with it. I enjoyed the long mazes. I enjoyed the random encounters. I thought the fighting felt great. We put it in manual immediately. Manual makes it feel so much better.
Yeah, don't play that game on auto. It doesn't feel great.
It doesn't feel great. That's another thing that they added in the PS1 version. So I feel very positive about our choice of version here.
Good choice.
The production's gorgeous. Like it's definitely a long game. Like there's a lot of points where it's like, okay, go do these 3 dungeons and then the story will continue. But I think if you just get on its wavelength, this is just a really strong debut and a really good package. I really like Tales of Fantasia.
Nice.
This game's good.
Tales of Fantasia. Classic.
All right, what's next?
From
That is a
1945.
solid number 9. Again, like I like that. Like I know that I don't like when I talk RPGs. Like the Tales of series just doesn't come up a lot, but I really do like Fantasia a lot.
Yeah, it's
I don't
it's
think
really
I've ever
good.
played
Berseria
that
is hitting
series.
hitting me good. It has a way more of like a thrust to it than Vesperia did.
It's definitely a lot. I think that game is also intimate in a different way. Like I like the intimacy in Berseria as well. I think that it's
Triple
very
double.
I like it when that series does that and it feels less. I don't know. I feel like it can kind of like lean way too into anime tropes at times, and the stories feel a little insincere or just a little too contrived.
Oh, nice.
But I think that Fantasia and
Elden Ring
Berseria both
DLC,
kind of hit
nice.
for me in similar ways, and that word intimacy is the word that kept coming back
Mhm.
to.
I think that's a
feel you,
good
Polly.
point. I think Berzeria's story is hitting me the same
Toothpaste or
way. It's
berry
just that
blue?
the systems are
The
way more like
systems are
modern
just
game cluttered.
modern gamey and kind of
They're all toothpaste.
mushy and not
Oops,
great.
all
Yeah.
toothpaste.
So it's like, all right, Fantasia is just this perfect cup of porridge. This is hitting everything right for me.
So are we ready
Vampire
for another
Survivors is a really good one.
listener list?
Perfect temperature cup of. It's like the Goldilocks thing. It's the Goldilocks porridge.
you
That's
go.
the illusion I was making.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
All right.
That's
all
the
right.
list.
We got porridge. There's at least one porridge mentioned this year. We did
Yeah.
good, I think. Porridge finally getting its due on the Soxcast, I think.
Honestly, if
Arch
this is
is
the
also a
last
half
jelly
elf, and
bean,
and she's
I
really
feel
cute.
kind of okay.
You know what? There you go. Like, does that give her? Does that give
What I've
like
heard,
0.5 to the elf count?
Yeah, because
Since
you
she's
know you also go to the elf village and there's a bunch of elves and there's a whole.
Elves.
Okay, so
plot
there
line.
are like we've got a confirmed elf count here that is more than just one. Okay.
There's a half elf that fucks like a tiger in this
Yeah,
one.
she
Oh, yeah.
fucks like a
There you
tiger.
go.
Let's go. You know who else fucks like a tiger? Carmichael McAllis, who has our next listener list. If we're all ready for that.
I'm ready.
All right, we are going to drop that in 3, 2, 1, play.
Hey, what has 366 days and sucks ass out loud this year? Carmichael McAllis here, with my annual bitching about the year and my top games played. With half my message delivered, let's get on to the games. Honorable mentions to Final Fantasy XIV for releasing another fun expansion, and Lightyear Frontier for being my early access game of the year. I had fun with what has come out, and I'm curious to see what else gets added. Third place goes to the first game I played this year, Cluster Truck. I saw the Super Truck mode get played on Watch and Play last year, and it made me want to try the game out. I normally don't play parkour runner games, but it was a lot of fun. Except the last level. Kinda went too far up its own ass on that one. Second place goes to Dragon Quest Builder series, because I played through the second one again, and then right afterwards the first one got announced on Steam, which I then bought and played through. While the first game does pale in comparison to the second as far as what you can do, as someone who played Dragon Warrior on the NES, I still enjoyed it. And I have to give props to a game that knocked me back to my childhood with a single fucking song. And finally, first place goes to Satisfactory. The game came out of early access this year, and holy shit, the amount of love and content put into this game. I played 2 saves this year, totaling up to 650 plus hours, and there was a good 6 months where I didn't even touch the game. The only downside I can say to this game is it was my first game in the automation genre, and I think that's kind of like starting fantasy with Terry Pratchett. Everything else is going to be a downgrade. And that's it. Those are my 3 games. 4 games. Plus a few other mentions. Hey, you could have hit stop anytime you wanted, but you didn't. And I appreciate that. At any rate, while Christmas may have come 20 days early this year, I wish everyone listening a happy holidays.
Hey, happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Carmi, as always. Always glad.
What was that? What was that little gasp, Paul? You're like,
the 200 hour, like he played 600
gotcha.
hours of Satisfactory, but didn't touch it for 6 months. Do you know, do you know how hours work? Think of how many are in a year. That's so many.
That style of game is just crazy.
You understand how
entire
hours
evening,
work?
entire evening.
Sometimes
I've seen
sometimes
people
not.
like stream that game and literally just be like, "Oh shit, I've been streaming 5 hours. I gotta go." So that's the good stuff. Yeah, but thank you as always, Carmi. It's always great to hear from you. Rhett, I do believe you got yourself another listener list.
Ooh.
Yep, we're down bad with listener listitis.
We are so down bad.
There's
I've
a
got a
huge
disease,
outbreak.
Red, I've got a disease, and the only cure is more listener lists.
Oh, there we go. Cowbell.
Okay, this comes in from Poncho Smith. Hello, Soxcast faithful. I know it's been a hot minute, but believe it or not, I actually played through enough unique games to bang out another list. As you might expect from me, I play a lot of stuff that reminds me of stuff I played when I was younger. Case in point, number 3, Fallen Leaf. I literally finished this one last night, if you need any indication to how close to the wire I cut it here. I had my eye on this whimsical little indie platforming gem, and an unexpected Steam gift from our very own Raven GM put it into my hands. If you've ever played through any of the classics of the NES canon, you'll feel right at home here. More on that later.
That's cooler.
Number 2, Crow
Country.
Crow Country.
Yeah,
Or
it
is
did look
county?
really good.
It may be a county.
Well, Poncho wrote Country.
Okay.
I'm
We'll
not
say
sure.
country.
Tapes 2
I
and
know that. I know the game
Galachos.
though. It's a survival horror PS1 thing.
It's
No,
a
that's really
cute
good.
PS1 thing. Shifting lanes into a new retro throwback of a different strain, Crow Country is a shining example of the PlayStation 1 survival horror revival that's been going on for a few years now. It blends bits and bobs from not only other survival horror games, but weaves in those recognizable polygonal character designs that wouldn't look out of place in a 5th-gen JRPG.
Nice.
And number 1, get your tally going, John. UFO 50.
Hey!
Yeah, it's here. 100 plus hours says it wouldn't end up anywhere else. The angriest I've ever been in video
about
games in a
600
very
hours
long
in it
time.
now.
I've still got a bunch more golds, cherries, and housewarming gifts to find. Play forever, no lies detected. Do I want to plop down and make another agonizing attempt to learn how Bug Hunter works, or do I want to play Magic Garden and Tactics again? And that Brimstone file isn't going to beat itself. This is the kind of problem I regularly run into with my games, but this time I don't even need to boot up another game because I can experience all of that in the same window. I'm getting too old for this nonsense.
Do you see where
That's
somebody
it.
made the computer?
fruity.
Like they made the
Nice.
actual computer.
2 more to go.
Nice.
Yeah, like and it boots
Oh,
up and
that's so
everything.
cute.
Like,
It
the
boots-
only thing
oh, it
that
works.
Yeah, the only thing that runs is UFO 50 UFO 50
Fuck yeah.
interface. So it's really
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
UFO 50 is a game maker, by the way. Isn't that nuts?
That is so
That's
crazy
nuts.
to me
I
that
didn't
all
know
of
that.
those are made
Yeah.
in Game Maker. That is so wild.
Yeah, that is
Uh-huh.
insane, honestly.
Game Maker's pretty good.
Game makers, you can do shit in Game Maker, y'all.
A lot of really good things
All right.
in Game
Make some
Maker,
shit.
turns out.
We're
Make something
moving
as cool as
on.
UFO 50. If a tenth of the people in our community play UFO 50 and are like, I bet I could make something. I could probably make something like one of these games, and we get
Absolutely.
like 10 games
Oh God.
next year. Like UFO 50 big games.
The
Be
SMPS 10.
wonderful.
The SMPS 10. Let's make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
The S&PS 10.
SMPS
do
10.
that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm almost confident with the number of game makers we have in our community and the games that we've all released, we could make an SMPS 50.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But we've already had those discussions for like NES 50 and stuff, and they crashed and burned miraculously. So, are we moving on?
Yeah.
All right, I guess it's time for me to bring us in to our number 8.
Being 3D.
8.
There. 8.
My number
What the
8 is
fuck?
a game that made me realize that I love shoving things inside of other things just as much as Red.
Uh-huh.
My number 8 is Koikatsu Party.
Jesus Christ.
We're not buying it.
Yeah, I played my hand way too hard there, didn't I?
Nah, that's not happening.
Yeah, my
I
number
thought
8
for a
is
second I was like, did Polly get really into like using the 3D modeler? Because like a lot of our friends do that, but
Yeah,
you didn't
no,
post a
yeah.
single thing. So
no. My number 8 is Patrick's Parabox.
Oh,
Patrick's Parabox.
So Patrick's
Ooh, a
Parabox,
a puzzle game.
Right?
A block-pushing puzzle
a
game.
block pushing puzzle game.
Oh,
So
triple double.
Patrick's Parabox, it's Sokoban taken to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level.
That's a lot of
And then
levels.
so on and so on and so on. It's
Alright,
a
of the
recursive
2 we got-
puzzle game, and my brain didn't even know what that meant when I read those
Toasted
words.
marshmallow or stink
when
bug?
I downloaded the demo, and then I realized 2 hours later, wait, this demo is really chunky, isn't it? I've like done like 2.5.
Every fucking time Polly's explaining something, I get one of these fucking jellies. It's like the worst ones. So glad there's only one fucking jelly bean left in this thing. Ugh.
Worlds, what is going?
Oh,
right, I
Christ.
share libraries with Red, and he
So
just owns
bad.
it. So when you download the demo, it doesn't download the demo; it just downloads the whole damn game. So I was like literally
Oh, hey.
like doing puzzles for 2.5 hours, and I completely lost track of time.
That's amazing.
I was like, oh, they have a really generous demo,
Whatever.
and then no.
Yeah,
You were
I just
looking
thought
at-
it was like, oh, it's like a 3-hour demo because maybe there's like 1,000 puzzles. No, there's just 10 worlds in the game, and
Wow.
some bonus of stuff that I.
Oh,
the bonus stuff is so fucking hard.
My brain noped out like 4 puzzles into the post game.
That's understandable.
But this is a game where you literally just like
last one's Tutti Frutti or Sticky
blocks
Socks.
into other blocks, which are also their own little puzzle rooms. So you
the stage you're on itself,
or the actual whole stage is just the block that you're pushing around. It's you have to watch video of this for it to make sense, because like it's just your brain like your brain starts looking at puzzles in an entirely, and like the thing is, it felt natural. It didn't feel like I had to like retrain my brain to like.
I like that. That's a good
out
prospect.
How this works. It's just like they're really good.
Like
the thing that I really liked about this game is it's very good at easing you into everything it introduces and does. So it'll throw you a couple of real easy ones where you get the concept of just like, okay, like if I push this block up against a wall, I can then go inside of it. It is another room, and then I can push the blocks inside of it out into the other main room, follow it back out, and then you just kind of start putting all of that together, and it is just so wildly trippy, and it plays with your spatial awareness in ways that just have you thinking like 3 and 4 layers and rooms deep sometimes. Like you will be like pulling blocks out of like the 5th room to bring them into the 1st room. It's zooming out and zooming in and zooming out, and you're seeing the room that you're in is another is literally just a block in the same room, so you're literally like moving around the room, but you're also watching a little itty bitty block version of you in the same room pushing it around.
I love how when you have a block that is the room, like, and you push it, you can see the wall you're pushing it into slide up on the left.
You see all the blocks that you're pushing up against on the outside, or if you push it into infinity, which you can do. It's just like, you recursed way too much.
The last few worlds just push this to its absolute limit of like.
God. I was
infinity multiplied by infinity recursions. I'm just like, okay.
I was laughing so hard. Like I've never played a puzzle game that made me just die of laughter. But like some of the shit that they have you do in the last couple of worlds, just like I would see what it was going for, and my brain would break for a couple minutes, and then I would just like, oh my god, they want me to what? And then you do it, and it happens, and you're just like, there is no way that worked. And it feels so good. But this is a game where I think like the escalation always feels good. Like the concepts, the way that they introduce them, like it is a perfectly balanced puzzle game. I've never played a puzzle game that felt this balanced before. And like I am somebody, if you don't know me, I'm a big puzzle dummy. And I'm a big puzzle dummy because I'm dyslexic, and I have a hard time with spatial awareness, and I have a problem thinking ahead logically because I got a thing in my brain that says, nope, I don't get it, and sometimes I don't know what left and right are either, so good luck. But this game never left me frustrated because I feel that, 1, it's good at teaching its mechanics, and 2, there's always like other puzzles you can just go do. And I think that's what made it never got frustrating, because it was like, well, I can't do that, dude. I don't get it right now. But it like, well, there's some other easier ones I can go pick off, and then maybe they will be the one to kind of give me the concept that I'm missing to like, because I had that happen a number of times where I just go do something else, and be like, oh, I can do that, and you go back and you do the other one, and then you knock out like 4 or 5 more puzzles, and it just feels great.
That sounds
There's definitely moments for this where it's like, okay, I don't get this one, but I'll go replay the tutorial levels and kind of understand the concept again and saying, but they never reuse the same gimmick where it's like, okay, what you did in that tutorial level isn't going to work here, but how can you twist it to work this time?
They twist it. They put a twist on it to where you always kind of have to recontextualize it in your brain. Like you and the undo system is really generous. Like there's no fail states or anything. The game doesn't make you actively feel bad for not solving it.
It's also a
anything
good
You
like
definitely
that.
can evolve into states
Something
where you have
I'm
to
happy
undo
games
code
don't
and
really
go
do
into the
anymore.
void of infinity.
Yeah, if you go into the void of infinity, the game's like, oh, hey, welcome to infinity. Do you like it out here? I mean, you can stay and hang out. It's a nice little tune when you're in infinity.
Triple double again. Triple doubles are by far
The undo system made this
the
really
most
hard for me to
common
go
rule.
back
It's
to
not
Void Stranger, which doesn't have undo, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh
that's
no.
yeah. I've noticed that with other games that I've played since this, where it's just like there's
Yeah.
not an undo button, and it's like, oh god, I've got to like redo this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is a game that really
that's
benefits
cool,
from the
cooler.
hands-on experience. So I'd say go play the demo for Patrick's Parabox. If anything that I have said sounds interesting at all, like go
Or
to
even just
Steam.
watch
It
the
does,
trailer.
yeah.
You'll-
Just watch the trailer and you'll get the idea. But I think feeling it.
Yeah, feeling it helps.
There's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
moment
yeah,
like
yeah.
when you first push an entire room inside of another room
Triple
and then
double.
exit out the other side into another room. There a moment like again, so many little
I
moments
love mind
where
fucks
that
like
just
that.
feels incredible, and I think that you don't get that from just seeing it. You have to feel it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really textile. The way your block squeezes in, it's just the right amount of slowing down to make the squeeze work and feel good.
You just slide it right in there. Yeah.
It's so
Nice
good.
and
Patrick's
slow.
Parabox
Mhm.
is awesome.
Cool.
Listener list, Rhett.
All right. To add to that, and I'm probably gonna pause that for the day. That's a good spot to stop on to carry out to tomorrow's Daily Nipah. But to add to that, a lot of these are really good explanations of what they are. But like Polly said at the end there, unless you're gonna like enthrall yourself into some of the more vague or interesting games, it's really hard to kind of explain how neat some of the mechanics can be. I've never played Patrick's Parabox, but I've seen a lot of videos on like those puzzles that connect, like you could take a picture and connect it with another picture and like walk through a picture, like weird stuff like that. And it sounds like the block pushing variant of that, which is really cool. So I'm really interested to hear more about this. Has been a really fun Daily Nipah. I am having a good time listening to this Game of the Year podcast, and we're gonna have it for the next few Daily Nipahs as well. We're gonna listen to it over time. If you want to listen to it yourself, I have put it in chat. You can listen to it there. That is linked directly to the first one. I should probably link it directly to the page. Here's our last roll on the day, Rika. What are we gonna have, you lovely little thing, you? Not bad. Nice try. We are back up to 1,000 fates already. Feels like we've barely even been here, right? But Rika, it's another. I am already loving season 2. I like our stats here that we got going up. We got 10 straights, 13 four houses, 41 triple doubles, 9 double triples, and 2 keep rollins. I haven't had to keep rolling since the first stream, which was only 200 fates, by the way. That first one was wild how much stuff we got there. It looks like triple doubles are going to be taking this one easily. Four houses over straights so far is actually really interesting. Straights have not come up much. But we don't have any Nipatsies yet still. And if you'd like to get this game yourself, you can download it here for free. socksmakepeoplesexy.itch.io. That is the same place, or as one of the same people here if we go to the credits. Polly and Rhett you were listening to, and the podcast we were listening to. And you can see the socksmakepeoplesexy.itch.io here as well. And of course, check out inconsequentialexistence.com for Rhett and John's itch page. I should get that up here as well. And Polly, you're so kind. Thank you. Wanted to get that quick fight on. This has been another Daily Nipah. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with another Daily Nipah. We are currently 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 34 seconds into the podcast. If you want to go back and listen to the beginning and catch up with us tomorrow, you can. Or if you want to go ahead and listen to the whole thing, go for it. We may either finish out the first half here tomorrow or whatnot. I'm not sure. But thank you so much for listening. I appreciate that. YouTubers, please like and subscribe. I'd also appreciate that. Positive vibes, y'all, and have a wonderful night.